Ladies and gentlemen, in this video we are going to discuss about 7 killer strategies that you as a beginner or intermediate or advanced chess player can use in your games in chess.com. Maybe you are 300 yellow, 400 yellow, 600 yellow, 700, 800 or 1000 plus yellow, you can use these strategies. Sorry, it might look like what's is going to be told in this video. Some of the advanced players already know much more than what is going to be told in this video, so that's not the matter where we were. So a beginner friendly video in which we are going to discuss 7 killer strategies that you can use in your games to destroy your opponents, to kill them and to win at every games that you play. So without wasting time, let's get into our video. So what comes to the first point is opening. So opening is what matters the most in a game, because the way you open decides how you will play in the entire game. If you open in the best possible way, then it increases your advantage in winning the game. There are so many openings, like with the king pawn, or you start with the queen's pawn, the king's pawn opening, queen's pawn opening, or you can do like a Sicilian defense or a French defense or a London system. So there are so many moves possible for you to do. But in my opinion, what's the most strong opening move is the queen's pawn opening, according to my opinion, because it is pre-protected and it does not need initial protection here. So once we move this, the opponent say moves the same thing, then we can bring our knight out. He brings the knight out, we bring our other knight out. He brings his other knight out, we can bring our bishop out. He brings his bishop out, we can get this pawn out if he moves the queen to castle, or he simply gets this pawn to take out the bishops with this. Then we can bring this here to break the symmetry. If he offers the trade, we are offering the trade. If he accepts the trade, then we can take with this. Or if he does not want the trade and want the knight to be pinned here, then we can simply bring this pawn out for him to retreat or to trade. So if we move this and he goes for a trade, we can bring our queen out, enabling the king to castle both the way and queen actively engaging into the game. Once you finish doing your opening, what comes next is controlling the center. Now what is controlling the center means? Controlling the center means controlling the central squares. These are the central squares that you need to gain control over in the game initially to get a big advantage over your opponent. Not only the central square, but also the 5th rank and this 4th rank, the 4th and 5th rank, the heel of the board, and these central squares are the squares in which you need to gain control initially. If you get the control over these squares initially, and if not total control, then if maximum control, then it's going to give you a great advantage over the opponent, because these squares are where magic happens. So what we need to do is probably say if he brings the bishop out with the symmetry as it is going, we can bring this out. If he does the same, we can get this here, offering him a trade. If it takes the trade, we can take with the queen to gain more control of the center. Say like this, we can take with this and enabled our king to castle both the way. Which is more advantageous castling is going to be told later in the video. You need to watch till the end to know the best strategies that you can use in your game. Probably the next move 70% of the players on chess.com will try to do is bring the knight out, attacking the queen. So what we need to do in this position is we need to retreat. We can give another trade. If it takes, then we take. If he takes, then we take, and if he takes, then we take. Let's see how much squares we have got control over the center. We have got this, and then this. We have got control over a large area of the square, a large area of the chessboard. Probably seems like we have acquired a large territory of our own. Now the third most important thing or strategy we can say that we need to do is developing. Now what is developing? Developing means getting the entities or elements into action, into usage, into involvement in the game. the bishop out. Here you can see we have our 2 bishops out, 2 knights out, and 2 pawns out. We have got control over these 2 squares, these 2 squares, this square, this square, this square, and also this square. So we have got a large portion of the 4th and 5th rank under our control, and we have a good attacking position right here. Once we develop our pieces into the center, get control over the center, do a good opening move, and dominate over our opponent by getting control over the 4th and the 5th rank and the central squares. What we need to do next? Number 4 is castling. And castling, as you all know, is a deal in between the king and the rook, in which either of the rooks and the king, in which the king can move a 2-step and the rook can alternate his position to come to the side of the king. You might wonder, what is double O and triple O castling? This is a double O castling in which there are 2 individual entities in between king and the rook, and this is the triple O castling in which there are 3 individual entities between the king and the rook. So move our queen to here. Here is where we are able to monetize our YouTube channel. Simply joking. We are able to castle both the way. The king with this rook, both the ways. The best move to castle is castling this way, because this makes our king more secure than it would have been if it would have castled this way. I will not say that this castling is good. Sometimes this castling is useful. It depends on the vulnerability of king to attack, being attacked. We have finished the best possible way to castle. And now we need to discuss about pins. Pins that stick to us, give us pain. No, not that pain. This is something that gives us more pain than that. Say, we just here, he brings his knight to he brings his attack, and we move this over here so that we allow this to come out. And he brings this bishop to here, thinking that he will be able to fork us. Forking, we will discuss about forks and royal forks, triple forks, double forks, everything. Later in this video, you need to stick till end. So now it's our turn, and we have moved our bishop to here. So now the opponent is not able to move this knight to anywhere. This is what a pin is called. Pin means to sticking some opponent entities where they are, because there are some more valuable entities. Knight cannot move because it's pinned to the king by the bishop. So white to move. So white moves knight to this position, so the king can take it easily, thinking that it's a free stuff, but nothing is free in this world. It takes, the rook comes, the king comes here, the queen goes, the king takes, and it's a draw. Because here, if the knight takes, the rook takes, and it's a pin, because queen cannot move because of the king pin, and he has to take this or move the king, but moving the king is not going to be that good move. He has to take with the queen, we take it, attacking his knight. This is how queen can be pinned for king. Now let's say we are going to start a game, and we have understood how to open a game, how to control the center, how to develop our pieces, how to castle and which way to castle, what's pin, how to pin. Now the 6th important and dreadful strategy is forks. The nightmares of even the greatest players. Forks have been what every chess player have fear for. So I'm going to tell you in this part of this video what's a fork. Say we begin like this, normal opening, and we have brought our bishop out to here, attacking this. You see a long vision distance is being occupied by this bishop all the way to this pawn. Now whatever the opponent moves, we move our knight to here. It's like pushing this knight out here. You can simply get the knight here, forking the king, forking the rook. The queen cannot take, because if queen takes, then we take, and it is a big advantage for us. But if the king moves, we take the rook. It's 5-point advantage from the very beginning. If somehow we manage to get a position like this, in which the king, the queen and the rook are in a position like this, and our knight is looking at them greedily, then you can, whatever the opponent moves, whatever the moves are, we can simply do like this, in which we are forking the king, the queen, the rook, and what you are going to taking here, most probably it's going to be the queen. Of course, whatever he moves, you are going to take the queen, and then he takes, and you win the queen and you win the game. This is what we call a triple fork, in which you are attacking on this, you are attacking on this, and you are attacking on this as well. This is a triple royal fork, which you can use in your games to find a possible fork in a game. What you need to do is you have to have the mindset of getting king and queen in, or getting king and rook in a position you can fork. For that you can do sacrifices, you can do brilliant moves in which you can fork. The last and the killer strategy, actually not a killer strategy but an important strategy, is trading. Trading is all about your mindset. Trading is all about what you want. Trading is, let me show you first the game. If we do a simple opening as we do in every game, if he moves like this, we can move something like this, and we can bring our he brings his bishop to here, we bring our bishop to here. This is what I have told earlier in this video. It's a pin, pinning the knight with the king. But what's trading in there then? Trading is exchanging the pieces. Both the bishop and the knight cost 3 points, the rook costs 5 points, the queen costs 9 points, king in 9 points, and the pawn costs 1 point. Yes, they are cheap. What to trade and when to trade? Trading must be for pieces of equal weightage. For example, a 3-point trade, or a 9.9-point trade, or a 5.5-point trade. This is going to keep our positions equal. Or a 3.3-point night trade, everything is going to keep it equal. But we cannot trade for a 1-point piece for a 9-point piece, or we cannot trade a 3-point piece for a 1-point piece, because it's going to give us a loss. So when to trade is now the next question. When to trade is when you are under attack, when you are pressurized. Say he brings pawn out, I am pressurized, I am being pressurized pawn, I can eat it, he can get me back, all the way back. So for me, it's not going to be a huge loss if I take the knight here. Then he's going to take the pawn, nothing is going to matter because everything is well known. I can bring my bishop here, he can go for another trade. But sometimes there are some other requirements. What are the requirements? The requirements is where to trade for a bishop and a knight. For example, the scenario is complicated and we have a knight and a bishop. Which one do you think is more profitable? Is it a knight or a bishop? Of course it's bishop and not a knight, because bishops can travel a long distance, but knights can be very useful when the fields are open like this. In this position, the knights have so many ways to move and so many ways to develop But if the positions are complicated, then knights cannot be much useful as compared to the bishops. So scenario matters. If the position is complicated, then of course bishops are more profitable. And if the position is wide open, if not wide open, then a bit open, then of course we should not prefer trading our knights. So that's all for this video. Hope you have enjoyed and hope these strategies would be useful for you in your future games that